Who am I? Mi ani. Mi ani, wer bin ich? Who am I and wer bin ich? So we will, and this is this. We started off the Hakduma today asking, why are you here in the world? What are you looking for? So we spoke about pleasure. The second question, which is really before the first, is who am I? What am I? Now we said the story many, many times from the Alter Rebbe. That once upon a time, hat gesagt der Masse. Schon gesagt, aber das ist noch einmal für die Welt, für die Brie. That once upon a time, Alter Rebbe's Einikul Tzemach Tzedek was sitting on his lap and he was playing with him. And Alter Rebbe asked him, Wo is Zaydi? Wo is the Zaydi? So he pointed to the Alter Rebbe, to the Baal Tanya, and he said, nah, this is the Zaydi's heart. So he points to his head. He says, this is the Zaydi's cup. This is the Zaydi's hand. And every time he points to him, he says, this is the Zaydi's Epsamdish. Till Tzemach Tzedek goes away and the Alter Rebbe goes back into his cipher. He hides behind the door and he yells out like a few minutes later in a shock, Zaydi! And he says, yeah! He says, oh, da bist du. I chapped you. I got you. Because ultimately, we're not Armidus. Lav mikol ilim in this cloud. We're not Armidus. And the Eibishter is not specifically this or that. He's infinite. He's Bligville. So whenever I ask a person, who are you? So people say, oh, I'm Moshe Weiss. I say, no. Moshe Weiss is just a label. It's just a name. It's not who you are. Who are you? So you say, I don't know. Where are you? In my body. You say, really? You're in your body? So let's say I would do a brain transplant. Let's say I would do a brain transplant. So we would take out your brain and we would put him into, there's this kid in the city. He dies. He's a 17-year-old kid. He gets a bullet shot to his head, and he donated his body to science. So who wakes up now? Who's going to wake up? So who's going to wake up? That means, let me read a real grab mushel. If I'm going to take out Trump's brain and put it into Obama's body, who's going to wake up the next day? Who's going to wake up? Frag die. Who looks at here? Trump. So then the person might say, hey, okay, I got you. So I'm a brain. Okay, I'm not my body. Okay, I'm a brain. But the answer is you're not a brain either. Because what's a brain?
Not a physical brain. You have the
information that's inside of the brain. Correct?
Things that it does.
The brain has functions, but the brain also has information that it's stored inside of that brain. So theoretically, the day is going to come one day where we're going to be able to take out the information from a brain and maybe store it in the cloud. Just like you can store the information from your phone in the cloud, and then your phone could crack, and then we could download it onto a brand new device. I don't know, one day we'll be able to take out the information from your brain, store it in the cloud somehow. If there's machines that your mind could control, prosthetic, whatever it's called, I can't even pronounce it, prosthetic, a hand. If your brain can today control the machine, and it can control the information, wie lange geht es nehmen until we can take out the information from your mind, store it in the cloud, and download it somewhere else? One day. I don't know, it's science fiction today, but one day it may become reality. So frag dich, what are you? I say, I'm the information in my brain. So then we come to realize that I'm not my body, and I'm not my brain. So who am I? So you can say, I'm just information. I'm just all the information that's stored in me. But then you can also go a little further and say, hey, but who's controlling all of that information? That means there's a you that would be controlling any type of information that would be downloaded. So who's that you? And then you come on to a word called a soul. And Chassidus, they tell you, who's that soul? What is that soul? And we say, no, that soul, that's a chelik l'kam b'mal mamish. That's an infinite, that's a divine spark. I have no way to express it besides saying, it's from there, it's from that, it's from the above. And that's what I am. Now, if I talk about pleasures, I say, what's going to give you the greatest pleasure in the world? No, not steak. Not even a niggun, not even chachma. It's ultimately going to be Shashuay HaMelech Ba'atzmusai. It's when the Melech has Shashum with himself. That means when that, which I really am, which is the source of my soul, experiences itself on this world, then it's like, wow, it's experiencing itself. But it only experiences itself in a game. Because in this Bria we only have Tanugim in the world of games. Now the world of games work that there's a combination. You can only play a game if there's rules and regulations in a specific way. So for example, if I'm going to play basketball, So somebody comes along and he builds a stadium. And you know how long it takes to build a stadium. You have to have plans and you have to have architecture. And there's these companies that are investing money in order to have the advertising. And both are stadiums and Juden. But there's still no game. And then somebody builds the stadium and there's a kyle over here. And you say, wow, what is this stadium for? And you say, for a game. So what's a game? So the game is we're going to have a little hoop. We're going to have this middle metal ring. And in this metal ring, we're going to have this ball, and there's going to be two teams, and we're going to play. And it's going to be an amazing experience. There's going to be two teams, and you're going to be rooting for teams. Now, let's say somebody comes and says, you know, this basketball game, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. 10 feet high. I'm just failing. It's such a struggle. Ich schwitze dort, and I'm failing 90% of the time. I think we should make the hoop 4 feet wide and lower it down to 6 feet low. I think the hoop would be 4 feet wide. That's what it is. And it would be like 6 feet low. I think that would be a great game. What would be the result?
It's not a game.
It's not a game. So in order to have a game, there has to be 10 times more rules and regulations and systems and structures in order for the game to be a game. That means we say, no. It's going to be 10 feet high. And if you're going to touch the guy, it's going to be a foul. And you can't dribble the ball only like this. And you can't use only Azoi, and it has to be a certain amount of time in a certain way, and then it's a game. Because it's contained. And the action is contained in a set of boundaries and a set of rules, and then there's a true extreme panic where there's a challenge, there's a winner and a loser, and I'm having an extreme panic from it. And the whole Bria lives in games. Everything is games. There's the games of sports, and we spoke about this. There was the gladiators, and there's video games with the Kens Opak and Kev Darton. But everyone wants a winner, a loser, a challenge, and that gives me a reason to experience my life in a positive way. It gives me But imagine the guy who's playing basketball. It still doesn't come to the tonic of that nigga. It still doesn't come to the tonic of giving. I mean, the basketball player, the sports player, the Yankee fan. He also gets his tonic when he brings in a child with cancer and he teaches, and he pitches for him the ball. When that cancer child comes, or when he brings him on and he signs for him his t-shirt, he gives him a sweaty t-shirt for that kid Nebuch, and that gives him tonic because he's giving, because that's a higher level of pleasure. And then you go to the next level and you say, there's a game in the Bria where Hashem wants to experience itself through us. And in order to have that game, he designed a game called Torah Mitzvahs. So one way of looking at mitzvahs is that it's a contained environment. It's a place where we made a structure, and we said kacha. We said Shabbos. We said Shabbos. What Shabbos? What Shabbos? Shabbos is a game. What Shabbos? Is Lamatas Meluchas.
Chapsy.
He said that,
Ja, das macht Zeit, nein?
we said there's Lamatas Meluchas, right? So what's Lamatas Meluchas? Lamatas Meluchas is basically a game. It's the rules of the game.
39 rules.
It's 39 rules. So I don't know, I can't tell you how many rules there are when you're playing baseball, but I imagine there's 39 rules. Or any single game, there's tons of rules. Now if I break the rules, then I say, it's not a game. If I say, I think we're going to make 4 strikes to the game. I think 5 strikes this time. I think in my baseball, first of all, you have to pitch it very, very, you can't pitch it more than 30 miles an hour. You have to give me at least 10 chances. I remember once I came home once, and my kids were playing Scrabble. My daughter, one was like 9 and one was 11. And it's right after I come home with my wife and I see a Scrabble game. I look at the board and it's like, the words, they have these complicated words, and the whole Scrabble game is ungefüllt mit Wörter, solche mega, also Tate-Wörter, weißt du, solche Mama-Wörter, dictionary words, more dicke Wörter. And it was all set up the Scrabble game, and I said, wie haben sie das gemacht? So the next day I asked my kids, I said, you played Scrabble yesterday? So they're playing along, endlich one of them cracked. And sie sagt, look, they haben gespielt the game, it was too hard. Ich gekannt the game. So they said, L'chaim, they turned over all the pieces and they made words. The most gestellt Wörter on the game. Now how long, it's very cute, right? But how long could you play such a game? Wie viel Mal gehst du spielen als ein Game? How many times could you play chess where you're going to let the pawn turn into a queen? Where you're going to let the bishop jump like a horse? There's no game. Now, if somebody would say, why did you make that the horse should jump like this? Why didn't you make that the horse could jump 4 and 2? I don't know, but that's the game. Now, if I want to play chess and I want to have a good time with you, it has to be a winner, a loser, a challenge. I have to motivate me, inspire me to work hard, and then I can have a tonic from being in that challenge in that place. Now, if the whole Bria works on games, it comes from a source where the Eibishter is playing a game with his universe, and he made rules in the Bria. He made Lamatas Maluchas in the world. You know what the rules of his world are? His physical rules to the world. It says that when it's cold, you're going to shiver. When it's hot, you're going to sweat. When your belly doesn't have any food, what's going to be? You're going to be hungry. When something dies, you're going to be sad. When you get something new, you're going to be happy. When you see something someone else has, you're going to be jealous. You're going to be jealous. When when things are not going to work the way you want it, you're going to get angry. When somebody's going to compliment you, you're going to feel big. When someone's going to humiliate you, you're going to feel small. When somebody's going to hurt you, you're going to want revenge. He made rules, chukim and the bria, and those are that's the game. Now the Eibishter comes and he gives us a Torah, and we wonder, what is this Torah? What is this mitzvahs? It's games. It's structures where he said, this is the rules. Now, in this game, play this game, you're going to find the odd over here. You're going to find that. Now, so let's say somebody comes and he says, oh, I hate basketball. I hate basketball. I was born into a Yankees family. They were playing baseball. And I don't want to go there. And they have found baseball sinus movers. I feel bad for him. But it still doesn't change what the structure of baseball is and where the tanning in that game is. It is what it is. So the whole tamtis of this Maimir, I'm going to wrap it up with that. The Shashua Amelech Batz Musa, that in order for a person to have pleasure, the person is here in this world for Shashiyah. Everybody wants pleasure. And everybody has to know that ultimately I'm a soul. And that soul wants pleasure in this world, and the Eibishter wants pleasure. And the way how the Eibishter makes pleasure in this world is through Torah mitzvahs, through making that structure and that infrastructure. That's the game where we can experience him here in this world. L'chaim, l'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim. Thank you.